it comes to bag making, do you hate cutting out the fabric as much as I do? Not just the fabric, but the interfacing and the lining. Do you oftentimes find yourself wondering in the middle of the night if you could teach your children how to cut appropriately? On that note, I have 4 cats. Maybe I could teach my cats how to use their claws for better means than clawing up my couch. If any of that sounded remotely relatable, then stick around, because in this video, I'm going to show you how to use a laser cutter to cut out fabric. First, how about some introductions? This is Valkyrie. She's a Thunder Nova 35 100 watt CO2 laser. It is rather large. It is a larger laser than any of the ones that I've shown off so far in my videos. That doesn't necessarily mean that you have to have something like this to cut fabric. It's just my go-to laser for pretty much everything except for metals. The bed size on this bad boy is a whopping 35 inches by 24 inches. So definitely bigger than like a Glowforge G-Wick or the Omtech Polar. That said, your standard diode laser is usually 400 millimeters by 400 millimeters. So for the people who like imperial measurements, 15 inches by 15 inches. The key to cutting fabric on these things is not to burn them. So you want to go very quickly and use low power. And if you have to, depending on the wattage of your laser head, you might want to drop the power down and just do 2 passes. Now for this 100 watt laser, I'm going to be doing 100 millimeters per second for the speed with 30% power. Now the power is actually a little bit high for a regular cut. Normally I would cut at 20 to 25% depending on the fabric. The reason I'm doing 30% is because I'm gonna cut through all 3 layers in one go. I've created a sandwich of cotton canvas, woven interfacing. Yes, it's glue backed. No, the glue does not have anything toxic in it. It's safe to laser. And PU waterproof canvas. I emphasize the PU in the waterproof canvas statement specifically because that's basically a polyurethane coating to give it that waterproof nature. That's completely different from polyvinyl chloride, otherwise known as PVC. So if you get any kind of material that's made with a PVC kind of vinyl plasticky coating, that's not laser safe. It's very important to understand the difference between the 2 materials, because if you try to cut anything with a laser, whether it be a CO2, fiber, or diode, if you cut PVC, it's going to kick off not only toxic chemicals into the air that you're breathing, but it will also kick off dust that will corrode the parts of your machine. So everything that I am lasering for this video is laser safe. So I'm gonna start by laying down the waterproof canvas first, and I go layer by layer and I set it down. And for this, it doesn't really matter which side you go. And just to call it out, all of this is from flashing. This is char from like wood and other materials that I have cut on here. It's not actually getting on the fabric. I did make sure of that before doing a video advising that you do things like this, or even how to do this, because I didn't want to like set you guys up for dirty fabric. But again, this is the lining, and since it's waterproof, you can kind of just wipe it down anyway if it happened to get that. Then I actually just sandwich the woven interfacing in here, and I line it up best I can. This is just a lazy cut, and if you're wondering why I did not bother fusing this to the canvas prior to doing this, it's because I'm lazy. It's what we do. So I am going to just smooth this out, get it as flat as possible, because even if you were cutting with scissors or a rotary cutter, you would definitely want to make sure that you have this flat so you don't get any wobbly bits. Then for the 3rd bit, I'm going to go ahead and chuck the canvas on top, just be very careful to slide that in there and smooth it out so that I have everything where it should be. Once I've gotten everything placed down, I do like to use little neodymium magnets to kind of hold things in place, especially up on the top edge where it tends to want to curl up. So I'm just going to kind of awkwardly lean in on the video and place these in. And the laser head is fairly low right now and could smack these. So the other thing we're going to do before we actually get started is do a frame. So all of your machines should have the ability to do this. So you want to frame it to make sure that you're actually going to be cutting within the margins. And we're safe. It's cutting it close down here at the bottom, but we're good. Now I'm just gonna let it go, and I'm not gonna speed this up. I'm gonna awkwardly put music in the background and just let you guys watch this do its thing. Booyah! I should address all the smoke that you saw in that. That's just because it's a laser and it's burning through material. There was no risk of a fire because I correctly dialed in my settings before launching into cutting through all of this material. So everything was safe. The only thing that is singed in this is going to be the very edge of the material, and because I didn't use the air assist, it didn't blow any char all over the edges. Awesome, let's get everything out of here.
Do da do ba do ba do da do ba do ba do ba do da ba do ba do do be do ba da ba ba da ba.
Let's take a moment to revel in the awesomeness of full material use. This is ridiculously awesome. You can see here that I cut out 3 bags worth for a perfect pouch. This is the production edition, so for those of you who are looking at this wondering where's the other pieces, well, that's why. The production edition only has 3 pieces that you need to cut out. So this is the front and the back for all of them. This is the upper gusset, and then this is the lower gusset. To examine the lines, basically we have very, very little burn that is noticeable on the cotton canvas. You have a touch more on the interfacing, but that's because of the glue dots. And yes, they will be sealed up on the edges. However, it is not going to stop any fabric from fraying unless the fabric is something like a nylon or a polyester that's laser safe, because it'll basically just melt the ends as if you would put a lighter up against the edge. And then here, of course, we have the PU waterproof canvas, and it's looking pretty darn nice. The edges are actually sealed, and that will not fray on me, though I wouldn't have expected to fray anyway because of the nature of its material. So let's go over the obvious, because not everyone is going to have a 35-inch industrial laser in their house. So how would this benefit you? How could it possibly benefit you if you're working with a standard diode that is only the 15-inch by 15-inch field? Well, just like you would have done if you had cut out 3 perfect pouches on your own, you would have probably done this more assembly line style, meaning you would have cut out the upper fabric, your exterior, your interfacing, and then your linings, and you would have just done boom, boom, boom. Well, you can do the same thing with the sandwich layers. You can do one bag at a time. This doesn't even have to be used for bag patterns. It could be used for whatever. I would say the benefits kind of start to dwindle when you get to clothing, unless you're like me and you're making tiny doll clothing. This is something that you can do to set off to the side, have it done quickly, but also allow you to have time to do other things in the background to get prepared for actually making the bag, such as sizing and cutting the zippers. All I can say is that for someone like me who needs to make a million of these but absolutely hates cutting, this is a game changer. I think the only thing that I kind of #regret is the fact that I can't actually do my vinyl in here, because vinyl, unfortunately, is made with PVC. You can, however, purchase Laserable leatherette sheets that are made with PU, and you can buy Laserable leather. Laserable leather is basically vegan tanned leather. PU vinyl does actually exist in other formats if you want to custom print. You can go through suppliers like the one that I've used in the past for my own vinyls. That is laserable and absolutely safe. I just didn't really think that through when I made my last order, that's all. Thank you very much for paying attention. Feel free to like the video, subscribe to the channel. Please leave comments below with any questions that you might have regarding this whole hack process. I am here to answer any and all questions that you might have.